Hey, what is up, guys? This is the Roadramblers. As I promised, we're back with an episode this, actually before June. It's the 23rd of May.
Nice. I'm one of your hosts, Jet, speaking.
I guess then that's a good segue into what we're going to talk about today, which is our biggest time wasters, or things that we shouldn't be doing, but we do, and especially because it's summer now, that we, guilty pleasure, we do it. For a couple months, Apex Legends, which if you don't know is a battle royale game where it's 100, well, essentially in this 20 squads of 3 fighting it out, trying to win. So I would say that was my LSD for this past a couple months. What would you say? Do you like Apex? I know I play with you a lot. We don't win too much, but
We don't win all the time.
no, I would agree.
When we do, it makes the hour-and-a-half grind worth it.
It also helps, I would say, when you have a third person. Anyone who plays battle royale games, communication is key. You really need someone out there saying, "Oh, I see him too." You can't just play with her. Although I will say the pinging in Apex Legends is one of the best ping systems, if not better, than Battlefield 4. I know Battlefield 4 had a pretty good ping system where you press right bumper or whatever it is for console you're playing on twice and it would ping an enemy. But for Apex, you have a whole spin wheel of different enemy over here, looting over here, attacking over here, which I think they got right in the game. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it's a good system to be able to just mark on the map where enemies are. I mean, I like doing this thing where I mark that there's an enemy in a place where they obviously aren't, and it just freaks my teammates out, so that's always fun.
Yeah, you do that way too much. I've gotten to the point where I don't even listen. When I hear enemy spotted, and I just keep walking. And then sometimes I actually get shot. And I'm like, it's Jet's fault. It's either someone's there or they're not there. So
Yeah. Well, that's just the way the game goes. Sometimes you just keeps you on your toes, if you know what I mean.
I guess. Or you keep me on toes. But yeah, I do. Apex Legends is definitely one of our time wasters. I would say for me, at least, on PC, when I play sometimes, I do go back and play Rainbow Six Siege. I have to say the game is not as fun as it used to be. Rainbow Six Siege is an FPS strategy, quote unquote strategy game, where you play with 5 different people and you choose different operators, and they each have a special ability, and you can play all these different game modes. But there is something called TKing, which is team killing. So if you're not happy with what your teammate did, you can actually shoot them and make the game 4v5 or 3v5. They've tried to, I would say, tackle that issue of people TKing, but it never really works. You can always figure a way around it. I know when I played Blackout, I died instantly right when I hit my boots on the ground to someone over here.
Oh, yeah, that guy sounds like a jerk. But anyway, yeah. I think as a whole in video games, team killing is just one of those things that there's really no good reason for it. And I get that they had it to make the game more realistic at first,
Yeah.
but then people just start team killing you if they don't like you or if somebody is just acting stupid or whatever. And it just makes things so much more toxic because they might be able to say, oh, if you team kill somebody twice, you're kicked. But then what they do is everybody just gangs up on you and team kills you once, so you don't get to play the game, basically.
Yeah. That really happens if you're playing with like a group, like if Jet and I were playing together, or we had another person in the chat or in the party, we could say, all right, I'll TK him one round, and then Jet TKs another round, so I don't get kicked for TKing twice. Jet doesn't get kicked for TKing twice because we have someone else who will do the TKing at the end as well. So it just, like Jet said, makes it very, very toxic and not fun to play, especially when you're just doing something and then you see one of your teammates named killed you and they don't tell you why, or they try to invite you to a party and Jet will tell you why not to join the party.
Yeah, because it's really easy just for somebody to just decide to shut off your Wi-Fi from a distance. I mean, that happened to a cousin of mine.
Yeah.
Some guy was trash talking to him. He joined the party. He and his friend joined the party that this guy was in. And this guy started, talking smack. And then they said something back. And then the guy just shut off my cousin's Wi-Fi.
It's real. People can definitely do that. A lot of the times it's either a DDoS or sometimes even a hack your account. So you got to be careful with who you, I would say, TK or who you even play with in game. As good as Microsoft security is, there are people who know how to get around it and who know how to fight it. So
Right. And based on the way we're talking about video games right now, I'm sure you guys can tell that we're having a typical college kid vacation already.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we do spend a lot of time on video games. I spend money on changing my username like every so often. And people get kind of annoyed with that, but I just say, hey man, when you got an idea, you gotta run with it.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fine. It's just a gamer tag. It's not like you're spending money on something worse,
Yeah, I know, and it's like it doesn't even matter anyway because you see my real name in the corner of the screen anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It still says what your actual name is in real life. So I would recommend Apex for anyone right now who is looking for a game to play, but I would say it is kind of stale. The last update and season pass were a little bit not on the good side. It wasn't as fun. It is fun to play with friends, but if you're playing by yourself, it's really hard. So I would say if you have a friend group and you want to play Apex over the summer, definitely do it. But you guys wait for that more content to come later in the year. But
right. Yeah. That's pretty much it. I mean, is there anything else we got to talk about video games other than that? We spend a bit too much time on them.
I mean, the way it always goes is I text you or you text me. I'm like, do you want to play Apex? And you reply, yeah, get on if you know what's good for you. And I go, yes, sir. But yeah, yep. It's all good. Let's do movies now. So I think we could talk about some movies. We recently saw Endgame before Jet, and then I had to wait for Jet to see Endgame to talk to him about it.
That's okay. It got spoiled for me anyway.
Did it? Yeah, I think you told me what it was. It was you found out Captain America was worthy of holding Thor's hammer, right?
That's right. I was allowed to just embrace the nerdy part of myself when I went to go watch that movie, and I still enjoyed it. I liked it as a movie. Yeah. And people I know seem to like Infinity War better, and I could see why. Because this new movie was maybe a little too silly sometimes. It was kind of complicated, and
yeah.
But it's just kind of a nice way to wrap everything up. It's an ending movie series.
Yeah, it was. I mean, 10 years of Marvel. They really wanted to wrap up the whole series, and the characters that our generation and generations that are younger grew up with. Seeing, I think the biggest part of it was showing that there is death in the superhero world. I mean, up to this point, the only real person I can think of who died before Infinity War was Quicksilver, and he got killed in a barrage of bullets in Age of Ultron. So, and no one really he was in the movie for maybe a little bit, but I think they wanted to show that superheroes, not all superheroes, which is very true in real life as well, don't get to survive the actions or the things that happen to them. And I think it was very, very, very befitting that Robbie Downey Jr., Tony Stark, is the character that gets killed off, seeing as he was not the first Avenger, because that's Captain America, but the first, I would say, film Avenger we saw. Was that 2008 when he came out? I can't remember when Iron Man came out, but I remember when it came out and I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. I agree with you there. But in terms of other movies, I mean, you could say another time waster is probably just... I mean, I don't want to say go to the movies. It does take up a bit of your money, and it's really worth it, like, if you only go for some things. I don't go to the movies all the time. The other night, I wanted to watch It, so I spent, like, $4 to rent it. Mm-hmm. And so we were going to watch it the next night, and then it expired while we were watching it, so I had to pay another $4 just to watch, like, another 30 minutes of the movie. So I mean, yeah, that's, as far as wasting time goes, that's a pretty big waste of time and money. I mean, yeah. It wasn't bad though. I liked the movie.
Yeah, I mean, convenience comes at a fee, especially with like Redbox or Netflix or the streaming programs. I know Xbox, you can actually on their page rent movies from Microsoft. They are inflated, obviously, because you're buying it or renting it rather online. So there's a demand for a higher price. But yeah, that's rough. You have to pay $4 to watch it and then $4 to renew it so you can watch it and finish it.
Right. That's pretty much how it goes. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. But that would have been about a ticket, one ticket after the movie came out. Because I know I was looking at tickets for Brightburn. If you don't know what Brightburn is, it's Evil Superman, basically. That the showing starts tonight, and tonight at 7 was $11.25 for one person because it's matinee, which is understandable. But even later in the week, it's still going to be around $10 to $11 to go and actually see this movie. Whereas renting movies that have already came out, especially on websites or gaming consoles, you do save money in that aspect, but then again, you're pushing out more money as opposed to just paying one ticket, like Jet mentioned earlier.
Right. That's pretty much how it goes.
Mm-hmm. So we are college students. This is a college podcast, so I did want to talk about finals and how that went down. So I, for one, really didn't feel like my finals were too bad. I know I could have studied more for maybe one or two of them, but ultimately I feel like finals were just a culmination of everything throughout the semester. I love classes where the final was actually just the last part of the, I would say, teaching curriculum. So for my history, it was Civil War to present day, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so it was just the final part of history. It wasn't like I had to remember from the Civil War all the way to present day. I just finished wherever we left off, which was really, really nice because it was just less studying for that class. So that was really nice. My politics, though, was collective. So it was throughout the year, which wasn't too bad. Having done politics in high school was pretty easy, and doing it then here in college, I think I remembered a lot of it, so that helped a lot. But I finished with grades that I was satisfied with. I thought I was going to get a C in one class, but Jet would tell you, I messaged him and I was like, oh my God, I think I got a C.
Yep,
and
that's
talked
pretty
about
much
it for a
it.
bit. Yeah, and then I actually got a B. So I was actually really surprised by that. My GPA, I know this isn't too big as a freshman, but my GPA did dip, I think, 0.03% or 0.03 points. So
Nice, not bad at all.
yeah.
My GPA went up by 0.01 points. I was at a 3.56, now I'm at a 3.57.
That's nice. I mean, it's the small gains, I think, really, for the GPA level.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to get from a 3.5 to a 3.7 or 3.9 within a semester, unless you're like really, really killing classes or you're taking more than the 15 or 16 hour load that is typical of a college student. But I think anything above 3.0, especially for your first year or in second year, is really good. I know people who had a 2.5. I'm not saying 2.5s are bad, but come on, you know?
Yeah, like, are you like trying to mess this up here? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I got a 74 on my politics final. It was online too, that made it even worse. So, I mean, I know what you're thinking. Like, it's super easy, Jack, and this is what a lot of people in my class did. They cheated, you know?
Oh,
I'm sure they did. They actually
that.
like got into groups to do that. I didn't do that though, because I guess I just didn't really like.
You have honor, unlike these other people sometimes.
I don't know. But yeah, I got a 74 on it, and I just didn't really feel like cheating, but my grade came out fine, so.
Yeah, I mean, for me, a lot of my finals were only worth 10%. You know, the rest hinged on, did you show up to class, which is one of them. And you know, they say attendance isn't part of it, but if the professor knows you come to class and you're engaged, they're going to add points. I would definitely say that for especially speaking classes where you have to do presentations, they want to know you're active. They don't want to see you come in once a week or once a month, which is really bad, and be like, oh, can you put my grade up? Who are you again? You know, so I'd say it really does benefit to be actively in your class. If you go on Rate My Professor, a lot of times when you read the reviews of a professor, you can put hashtags like hashtag lots of homework, hashtag this, and a lot of the tags I see are want to pass, show up to class. So I would say that's very, very true. You got to show up. That's like 75% of it, I would say, is showing up and giving your time to the actual class.
Yeah, that's true. You know, but anyway, yeah, since we're on summer break, I think I'm burned out talking about school. I'm sick of school.
I'm fine. Yeah. But you do start summer classes, right?
Yeah, but I don't want to think about that right now. Anything else on your mind?
I'm happy to be in summer. I am going on a mission trip in the beginning of July, so that'll be fun. I'm going to Costa Rica for a week. We're doing vacation Bible school, helping them build their, I would say, they have an orphanage, they have a little school building, so that should be a lot of fun. That's about, like I said, about a week, which is really nice. So the first couple days we're helping out, and then I believe the last 2 days are just like a vacay day, so we can go on the beach, swim, do some shopping, sightseeing, which will be a lot of fun because I've never been to Costa Rica, so I'm excited. I know I have some friends who used to live in Costa Rica, so they want me to reach out to their friends, which will be fun. But yeah, I'm excited for Costa Rica. Are you doing anything?
Well, yeah, at some point. Yeah, at some point I'll go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
But all I wanted to say is that I wish my vacation Bible school was that cool. My vacation Bible school, it was just for a week. I would get dropped. Me and my brother would get dropped off at this place, and we do like little crafts, make activities, you know.
Talk about Jesus, you know.
Yeah, talk about Jesus. And my favorite part was when they said if we didn't accept him, we would go straight into the lake of fire. That was my favorite part about Bible school.
Oh my God. Where was this?
My grandma's basement. Yeah, that's how it was. I didn't really understand, like...
oh my gosh.
Like, I didn't really understand a lot of the passages, but...
Wow. I did not expect that. I thought you were going to talk about, like, maybe a Baptist church.
Baptist. She's still...
Have you ever seen this video? I think it was really popular, I believe, on Vine or something. Maybe it's on TikTok. But it's this kid asking a question. Like, it looks like a study group for Christians. And he says, but what if I want to have sex before I'm married? And then the woman, it zooms in on, she says, oh, well, I hope you're just ready and prepared to die. And I was like, oh my goodness. That's what you reminded me of. That old school, well, if you don't believe in the Bible, you're going to hell, you know?
Yeah, I love that stuff.
All right. So now that we touched religion.
Well, not giving away our religious views, I might add.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Well, you gave away yours, but I didn't give away mine.
Well, yeah, I mean, Christian is very broad. I didn't give the denomination. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Costa Rica. But other than that, I am doing nothing this summer than working. I'm just going to work all summer. I'm trying to make moolah, you know? What about you? Are you going to work? Oh, I forgot. You're going to do classes. Did you want to get a job? Or
No, I don't know what I want to do
Not yet?
for a job right now. I mean, I have to come up with some way to pay my dad back the $600 I owe him for my car accident. But other than that, I mean, I don't really know.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the car accident? How it happened?
I mean, yeah, I'll talk about that.
Okay.
It was by the Walgreens on Brun Road. Yeah.
Oh, I know what that is. No, it's understandable. When I'm going through Braun, I am very defensive. They teach you in Texas to be a defensive driver, to know what you're allowed and what you're not allowed to do, because people here drive like idiots. I am not lying. People here think they can get away with crossing 4 lanes, because Texas has 6 lanes of traffic on the big interstates, and people think they can get over to an exit that's on the right side 5 lanes away about 100 meters before they actually get there. It's insane. They think they can just cross everyone. It's not Tokyo Drift. You can't do that.
No, you can't. But people in Texas sure think you can. But yeah, this accident was me basically not... I was looking at the traffic to see when it'd be my turn to go, but I started to speed up, right? Like I started to go, but guess what? It turns out the lady in front of me hadn't driven away yet. So yeah.
No, I understand that. One of my friends in high school, they had the same problem because... You're anticipating people are looking to move and get into the spot that either exit or actually turn, just like you are. But sometimes people just sit there because they see a car coming that's already 300 meters away, but they don't want to turn yet. They want to let it go by. So you're thinking, okay, this person's going to go. I can go right behind them. There's no one behind that car. And then they don't end up actually going.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No, it's totally understandable, especially at our age when we're taught to drive so defensively and know what to do in a situation that when you have an older driver, they don't want to do the defensive movement that you were going to do. You hit them. But yeah, I think you told me it wasn't too bad of a deal for her car.
No.
What was that situation?
I mean, for mine, my car looks like it got punched in the face, basically.
And her car was...
yeah. I didn't total it, but I'm just saying, like, it's not super great looking. But the funny part of that whole story is that wasn't even my first car accident.
It wasn't? What was the first one?
Oh, the first one, it was... I'll go ahead and set the scene for you.
Okay, go ahead.
It was my grandparents' house. I'm 12 years old. And my grandpa just wants me to, you know, he's trying to spray some stuff on the tires. I don't know what it was. I never really figured it out. But, yeah. He has me drive his pickup truck. He has me drive my grandma's car. She had a black Isuzu Rodeo. Basically.
Oh, okay. Isuzu.
Yeah, Isuzu.
Nice.
So, I guess what happened was, for like a minute, I confused the brake and the gas. And this was on the driveway. So you have my grandpa's car parked in the back of the driveway, and then you have my grandma's car parked in the front. Oh. So I guess I tried to hit the brake, but what I actually ended up doing was plowing on the gas, moving forward, and by the time I realized what was about to happen, it was too late.
Cartoon crash. You're like...
Yeah. And so I get out of the car. And then I look and I see that I pretty much knocked my grandpa's truck's bumper almost clean off. It was pretty damaged.
It was bare
and then
bone.
it turned out that he had a trailer actually in the back of his truck, so his back bumper was also damaged.
Oh no.
My grandma's radio was fine though at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pretty much wrecked my grandpa's car using my grandma's car.
I think I do remember this. We were coming back from your birthday party at Dave and Buster's, and your brother was like, "Hey, tell the story of Jet. Remember when you crashed the car?" And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Why'd you bring that up?" It's a good story, though. I mean, the first time I ever drove in a car, I would say is, again, with other family members, not my parents, was we were in Ohio visiting our grandparents' farm, and our uncle's like, "You want to drive?" I was like, "Sure." So we went in this, like, little back area, and it was really sketch because it was right next to a river and there was no guardrail, and he's like, "Okay, here, this is how you drive." So he showed me the gas and the brake, and we were driving, and I went real slow, obviously, like 10, 5, whatever. It was really cool, but I was like so scared because there's a river bank on our right, and he's like, "Oh, you'll do fine, don't worry." But I don't think my parents know, unless I went back and blabbered, "I got to drive with Uncle Carrie," but I don't remember if I did that. But it's all right. I had a minor fender bender back in, I would say, I believe it was a spring break.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it was the week we got out. My family actually went up to, can't remember what it's called, the Woodlands in Houston. It's a little sub area of Houston. They went there for the weekend, and I stayed here because I wanted to go see a movie at the university, and then I was just going to chill out, get some homework done. And so I went to pick up food for the person I was going with and I to the movie. And so I was in not my girlfriend, a friend from college. But I was trying to pick up the food. I didn't know where to park. I didn't know anywhere to park. So I went in this parking garage and I was going to go up, and then the gate started closing and then closed. So I was like, so you know what I do? I put myself in reverse and I go back slowly, and all I hear is a honking, and I'm like, uh-oh. And then I hear like a little bump. It wasn't a crash, it was a bump. And I was like, oh, like a love tap. Oh, boy. So I was like, uh-oh. So I put my car in park. And when you put your car in park, the brakes automatically come in. So my car went back again. It needed to be in the brake position. So I was like, oh my God. And the girl, she's in the costume. She walked, I was like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, the gate was closed. I'm sorry. I was trying to move back. And then she's like, oh, and she goes over and looks. And all I did was barely tap her license plate. Her license plate holder might have been a little bent, but she's like, oh, you're fine. I think she wasn't ready to have a full accident, and I was not ready to have an accident. And luckily, it was just a little minor fender. And she's like, you're fine. I'll back up, go this way. And so it was all good. She was fine. I was fine. So I was really happy. We went and saw the movie. But I'm not going to lie, I was shook. Like, we were eating dinner before the movie, and I was like, I was jitsy, I was like, oh my goodness. But car crash is not pleasant, especially in the moment. But you got to learn how to deal with that stuff. And it's better to, I would say, get in it now. Not saying you should try to get in one, but getting in one now when you're younger is better than being a 40-year-old with a pretty bad history around you got that true. Age with your insurance company. Because insurance companies understand we're 19, we're 20, whatever age we are, we're young and we'll make mistakes. But if you're a 40-year-old getting in a car accident every other month, your insurance policy is going to go way up. So I would say, plus my parents always call my car, it's a starter car. I mean, my parents got my car for me. Your parents got your car for you too, right?
Right.
So they're not saying don't not get in accidents, but they're saying that if you do get in an accident, don't worry, because this is a car that can be in an accident that we're willing to go and fix and get it going again. It's not like I'm driving a Beamer and getting in a car accident. So
I just love that story though about when you hit that girl. It's kind of like a cool way to have met your girlfriend. I just think that's cool.
Yeah, I don't know. She looked familiar. I thought maybe it was a girl I knew from class. So I was like, oh man. So when I went back the next day, but I don't think the girl ever talked to me again, and I don't think it was actually her from my class. But if somehow she's listening, I'm sorry. I think that wraps up what was on my mind for this podcast, at least. Do you have anything else you want to add?
There's not much on our mind now that we're out of school for the summer.
We're not trying to think too hard, Let your brain go to mush.
Yep, but when you combine video games and beer, it's really easy to let that happen. That's why you have to throw the occasional documentary in the mix.
For sure. All right, well, that's going to wrap up our actual second podcast. I know we recorded one earlier, but that one just didn't work out and it got corrupted. So, but like we promised, we got one out.
It was corrupted by our terrible, terrible minds.
I would agree. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys.
All right.
Jack.
Adios.